going on, gearheads? Welcome back to the channel. I know you're probably thinking we're diving into the Z06 project today, but we got something new to break out for the channel. New project could be working on probably this weekend and maybe into next weekend, depending on what we find with this thing. So let's go check it out. So I went to check this car out last weekend. I think it has that typical LT1 DOD lifter issue on this car. So we're gonna go ahead and bring it in, get it up on the lift and do our inspection, and we'll see what we find out. All right, we got her up on the lift. Gonna do our same routine inspection we did in the last one of these that had a bad DOD lifter on it. Already disconnected the battery, so we're safe there. Basically start removing all the accessory stuff in this area so we can get under the valve covers, and then we'll see if we ended up with a loose rocker. That will pretty much tell us that the lifter has collapsed and it's bad. I'm kind of banking on that being the issue. I don't think it's bottom end like rod knock, so we'll dive into the inspection, see what we get. So let's get started. Alright, so we got something a little different than what I expected with the failed DOD lifter. We actually have a broken rocker, and it looks like the trunnion bearing fell out. I don't know on the LTs if they use like a captive type bearing or the open like roller style bearing like that's on the LS that are prone to failure. So everybody does the bronze bushing upgrades like the CHE kit or one of those types like I have on my LS7 over there. I did the Smith Brothers kit. So you can see down in there, let me get a light. So you can see the broken part of the bushing or the bearing in there, and then there's actually the bottom little part of the rocker that's broken off. So likely, I mean, this could be the only issue with it. I don't know if we need to dive any further, but I guess let's take a look. We'll get this off. I just want to see what this is like under here, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go ahead and get this rocker off. Push rod looks okay, no issue with that from what I could tell. So here's the broken rocker. You can see the bottom there with a piece snapped off, so likely what happened was the bearing dropped out, caused this to pivot, and then this thing was still actuating, and then eventually caused the rocker to completely break. So you can see where the bearing is, and then the little rollers would all be sitting around in the race. So you can see even the race is cracked. And I tried to fish as many of these out as I could out of the cylinder head. They were like right where the bolt holes were. Just used a magnet, scooped those all up. Probably got a good bit of them, but I'm sure a couple of them probably ended up in the oil pan. So we'll dump the oil, change the filter, do all that stuff. But yeah, new rocker arm should do the trick. So another thing we're just gonna do also is probably pull all these plug wires off. We got that bad one in the back there. There's another one that was cracked here. Put a new set of plug wires on here, and also pull out the spark plugs. Likely this plug is going to be fouled from that cylinder not firing properly, so might as well just go ahead and pull all the plugs and take a look at them, see what we got, and likely just replace all the plugs. Alright, so it's Thursday after work. The owner just dropped off the parts we need. I guess he got everything at Chevy, so that worked out. I think it was all in stock from what he said. So we got plug wires, we got plugs, he also wants me to do that idler. I think he said he had a squeak or something on there, so we're going to knock that out quick. And we got the rocker. Here's the part number. Comes with the trunnion, the bearing already in it, and the bolt for you. So that's pretty sweet. So to do that tensioner, I'm pretty sure we got to pull off basically this whole, I don't know if you want to call this a cowl or a heat extractor cowl, and basically this whole intake section here, because the tensioner is way down over there and we just don't really have any access with tools or our hands to get in there. Put the rocker back on, we'll torque that to spec, and then we'll spin the engine over a couple times to make sure everything looks nice and smooth with the rocker arms and the valves. And then we'll basically button everything up, we'll fire it up, bring the oil up with a little temperature, get that circulating, dump the oil, and hopefully this thing will be wrapped up and sounding good. We've got the service manual out on the laptop, going to work through our steps here, make sure we use all our proper torque specs. I'm going to crank some up here on the TV with the speakers and Spotify, put you guys on time lapse, so let's dive into it. Normally we're sweating within 5 minutes of being out here, but it's only 64 in here right now. Probably if we open the door, it'd get even colder. We got Sam in here in the garage with us supervising. We're gonna wrap up this C7 here. We finished putting the rocker on and spun the engine over with the bar a couple times. Everything in the valve train is looking smooth and good. Had some extra oil and stuff, get that rocker nice and lubricated, and torqued everything down to spec. So now I just got to put that idler or tensioner back on with the belt. We'll put everything back in here, the little air dam, the intake tube, valve covers, coil packs. We got new plugs and wires going on. So we got a set of, he got iridiums for this. Different plug than what was on there before, but I guess these are probably what the dealer sold them. So I just checked the gap on these. I didn't want to mess with them because iridiums are supposed to be pre-gapped and not really touch them. It could damage the electrode. So just used one of these right here, and they're all pretty much set about 40 thousandths. So as long as they're nice and even, that gap is probably fine. I checked the old plugs too. They're set about 38-40, so that seems to be fine for these. And we'll go ahead and get all this stuff back together. Should be able to start it up and see how she sounds. guys, it's now Saturday. Finished up a little late in the garage last night, got everything back together. Didn't start it up yet, so figure we wait till today to get that going. So we're gonna fire the car up, make sure everything sounds and looks good, and then we'll do an oil change, and this will be on its way. Alright, sounds good. I don't hear any knocking from under here. Engine sounding nice and smooth. Alright, that looks good. We'll put a little heat into the oil, raise this thing up on the lift, dump the oil, change the filter, refill it up, and this thing should be good to go.